Adab everybody, welcome to Unibayanab Tutorials. Today I want to share with you how to hand embroider these groceries, and it's part of the kit that I have launched as a grocery tote bag. So if you have bought one of those, then you can use this tutorial to follow through, and if not, then you can totally embroider this on any other thing that you want. Let's get started. You will need a fabric, cotton fabric with the design drawn or embroidered on it. Here is a brinjal, an orange, a banana, and a cherry. You'll also need a small hoop or an appropriate sized hoop to go with this. So I'm using a small 4-inch one. You will need all kinds of threads to do your fruits and vegetables. Yellow for banana, orange for the brinjal, the cherry, so all of that. And you will need some scissors, and you will need needles. I've already have threaded some of these needles, so we can just, this is a pin magnet, so we can just get started on this. So first of all, you need to assemble your hoop onto your fabric and make sure it's nice and tight. Always just loosen it up a little bit from here. Always make sure that you have already washed your hands before you get started on your embroidery, because otherwise you may spoil it. Okay, then you can just tighten it around here. Okay, so once you have that, once you have the design and the thread, you're good to go. So the essential part of doing these fruits, and almost all of them are done kind of similarly, at least the orange and the brinjal. The banana is a different kind of stitch, which I'll just show you, and the cherry is also a different kind of stitch. So let's start with the bigger one here. Let's start with the brinjal, and what we want to do is a long and short stitch, which is basically what we want to do is work sort of long stitches along the shape of the brinjal, like so, and then just make the stitches go in this shape, and I'll just show you how. So once you have threaded your needle and made a knot at the end, you can go ahead and start here. And the idea of a long and short stitch is that you can really take it in any shape that you like. Okay, I'm going to just do a couple of stitches here. And I'll try to bring them to shape with the brinjal, with the fruit. And you don't really have to worry, because it's a really freehand sort of stitch. Absolutely do not worry about the size of the stitch, or basically you can't really go wrong with the stitch, is what I mean to say. Okay, so once I have this row of stitches here, I'm going to go back again in the same and fill out these gaps, okay, with a longer stitch than what I had done previously. And this here is part of the shaded lavender color that I'll be putting, so I'm not going to go in there, just going to go in these stitches here. And see, once I have all these here in place, and you can see that it's not completely filled in, we will do that later. So what I want to do is I want to go back and do a little bit of outline here, and not even an outline. I just want to go back and do stitches in the direction of the fruit, just a couple of random stitches, so that I can then follow those stitches. Okay. Like so. See, we already have a bunch of stitches that are in sync with the shape of the brinjal. Okay, and then all you have to do, all you want to do is go back and fill out all the empty spaces. Okay, so once you have this, from here on it's pretty easy. From here on, all you want to do is go back and fill all these stitches up. Okay, like so. So once we have a direction of where these stitches are going to be pointing towards, it becomes much easier to follow through. Okay. Check it out. Check how it's sort of closing up on it, and that's essentially all you want to do. Okay. I'm out of thread here. I'll meet you back when I see. Now all you want to do is fill these up, and that's all. So I'm back showing you how to fill up all these stitches. So you don't have to follow all these stitches like I am doing. I'm just doing how I drew the center stitches, but you can totally have your own version of it. Sometimes I do, so if there is a curve, you want to do, not very long lines for sure, because then the curve won't be nice. So just make sure that when you are at the curve, your stitches are not too long. Okay, and I'm leaving this center bit out here for the shading. I'm going to leave this bit out here, but the rest I'm going to cover up. Okay, and it might take a while for you to get the hang of it, but it's definitely a no-brainer. You don't have to be very precise with the stitches. The stitches don't have to be perfect at all, because they'll be so overlapping you will not even notice how they are looking. So definitely not something to worry about. And we will have things that we'll have to be very careful when we are making the leaves and all. We'll want to be a little more careful, and we will want to be a little more precise with those. But here, the brinjal here is not the difficult part. It just takes a little bit of time, which is absolute fun, because it's a mindless sort of stitch. You just have to go back and fill up everything. That's all. Okay, look, And look how everything is sort of converging here at this point, right? It's not going in this direction. All the stitches are sort of coming in this direction, sort of rounding up. So that looks really nice, and we will do that with the orange as well, and I'll show you how, because it's important that that even if the stitches are not even, they are sort of moving in the same direction, which is kind of important, because it's very much visible of what direction the stitches are moving in. Okay, we're almost done with the brinjal here. I'm kind of thinking of dishes I can make with this. Check it out, and don't be afraid to to move however you like. Check, see, look how it's taken shape, right? And let me just do one more stitch here. Okay, so now I'm going to put another thread and meet you back when to do this, to how to do a little bit of accent here. And also, to end your thread, you want to go back in and just wind up the thread on these threads that are visible here just a couple of times. 2 times is enough, and this you can just cut them really close. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so to make this accent, I've already threaded a needle with this lavender colored thread, and I'm just going to take out my thread here and going to do what we have done with the brinjal earlier, just stitches that will go around more or less the same way. Okay, see, and you can just do that a couple of times until you are satisfied with your little lavender stint here. Okay, doesn't have to be and I keep saying that it doesn't have to be perfect, because perfection, and this is like a beginner sort of class that I'm trying to do, and perfection is something that I would recommend definitely striving for, but not worrying about when you are just beginning your lessons, because what happens with perfection is that you end up with nothing, because you want it to be perfect, and since you well, and I'm hoping you'll be perfect, but if you're not, then you end up abandoning the project. So don't worry about that right now, okay? And let's move on to the green part of the fruit here. Okay, so for the green part of the fruit, what we want to do is we want to start here, and we want to make kind of smaller stitches to move to the bottom. Okay, because we want this to be nice and round. Okay, let's just make out the shape of the green part first, and then we can fill that up. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is just making the shape of the green part using this green thread. Okay, there we go. Can you see the sort of outline that I've made? Yeah. And now what all you want to do is you want to fill this up using stitches, and that you can do, you know, in any way that you prefer. I prefer to do these long stitches. Can you see? Yeah. Then just go on and fill it up nicely. That's it. Just one more maybe. And then we have this little twig at the top. That's it. That's it. We're done with our brinjal. Look how pretty it has turned out. I'm gonna go back and secure the thread. And if you are making a tote bag out of this and you feel like you securing the thread is not enough, what you can do is that you can get some fabric glue and dab a little bit on the ends so that they are nice and secure, and that will really make sure that none of the ends ever do come loose. Okay, so but that's an optional thing. You don't have to do it. Okay, so let's move on to the orange. Okay, so for the orange as well, we'll be doing the long and short stitch. This is just going to be a little bit different than how we did with the brinjal, because we had a fairly broad starting point with the brinjal, so we did stitches in this direction, whereas in the orange it's a round shape and we have a small shape. So what we will do is we'll start with doing with a single point. Okay, we'll be doing this. Okay, so what essentially we are doing is that we are trying to move in a lot of directions together because it's a round shape, and that will really help us. And then we'll do smaller stitches in between. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing from here, and then we'll fill up the between, the center. Okay, so let's see how to do that. You don't have to go all the way here, you just can end your stitch somewhere here, because there won't be a lot of space, as we have already inserted a lot of stitches in the center hole over there. So wherever you can find space, but make sure that there's not a lot of gaps here. Okay, see, sorry if my video is wonky. I'm still learning how to make videos. Just okay. And if you don't want, you can do the outline at the end. You don't have to worry about it at the moment. So we have already done the top part. Now we can go ahead and do the bottom part. Okay, and for that we'll just do the same thing that we did with the top thing. And then the same thing, the long and short stitches that we did here, we'll do the same here as well. And that's about it. And once you have those in place, we can go ahead and fill the center, which which won't take long because it's a fairly small orange. See, yeah, let's just go back and fill out all the empty places here. See, we have the outline, we have the top and the bottom part. Now we just need to fill up these center stitches with a few or as many needed long and short stitches. There. See? So once you have completed your orange, I'm going to show you how to do a couple of quick accents over here, which are not just, you just have to go on top of the existing stitches and do your thing. You don't have to worry that there already is some thread over there, it doesn't matter. Okay, just a couple of these to give a little bit of color to the fruit. Okay, that's it. All right. and then you can secure this as well at the back, and start with your green thread for the leaf and the twig that is at the top. Okay, and I already have some green thread here. So for this, this is also fairly simple. We can start with the leaf. We can start here, and we just have to do maybe maybe 3 stitches. One as a center stitch, and then I'm going to just to give the leaf a little bit of shape. I'm going to do just 1 or 2 more stitches to make it look like a leaf. Okay, on either side. And if you want, I already do have a tutorial on how to make a fantastic leaf, so you can watch that as well. But this is a small leaf, so it doesn't really require that much of a skill. I've made 2 stitches on either side, one shorter than the previous one. Okay, and then I'm just going to make the twig. That's it. There's the twig. There's the orange. Okay, let's move on to the banana. Okay, so for the banana, what we want to do is we want to do a whip stitch or a stem stitch. We'll start here. And what we want to do is we want to hold the thread like so, and we want to make a long stitch and then come back up at the center. Okay, so like this, and you can do this by doing this as well. Okay, you can do that, and just hold on once you have just a little bit of thread left, and you can pull back the needle, pull up the needle back here. Okay, you can do that, and then again move the thread back, hold it like so, and pull the needle back up here in the same hole that you had inserted in the previous stitch. Okay, and then again move the thread back. So this you have to keep doing until you reach the end, and then you have to move back and do the same thing back and forth. Okay, through the entirety of the banana, and then I'll show you how to do the brown accent as well. Okay, and this is a really nice texture to it, this stitch, and I'll just show you how. So once you reach the end here, what you want to do is I'll show you. What you want to do is you want to turn your work. You want to bring out your needle somewhere here. Okay, go back in the same stitch, bring it back here, and keep repeating that. Okay, just next to the previous row. Okay, so that you have continuity, and all the stitches, if the stitches are nice and close together, that's really the kind of perfection that you're looking for in your work. You don't, if the stitches are far apart and there is gaps in between, then they won't look as pretty and as realistic as you'd want them to be. Just go back here and end this row. See, and now we'll leave just this this line for the brown sort of shading that we have to do, and we have to do 2 more of these rows here and here. Okay, 2 here and 2 here. There's all 6 of these whip stitches in total, and I'll show you how to do the brown accent once we have done all 3. Okay, so I have done here six sort of rows of whip stitch, and it's not really visible the line that we were supposed to leave out for the brown part, but that is not a problem. So let's just get started with the center. We have two of those, right? So we'll just, and what we have to do is just back stitch here, okay? And like so, just go back into the same see, and it doesn't have to be too visible because this is really supposed to be the like a light subtle shading that we have to give to the banana. So don't worry if it's not visible too much, because it's not supposed to be visible too much, okay? Just a little bit here. See, it will sort of blend in. And the last one here. And we'll do a little bit of just two maybe small stitches here like this. Okay, I think one is enough. And then we'll go back and do the second line there after two rows of whip stitch again. See, and this will actually give a really nice accent to the banana. It will really complete the look we really like. And again, like I said, don't worry if it's not visible too much. It's not supposed to be. Great, now let's move on to the cherry. Now for the cherry, I already have this cherry red thread on my needle, and what we want to do is a satin stitch, which is basically a very simple stitch, and it requires going back and forth here in all these rows in straight stitches. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll walk through, with the fabric, with the thread of the fabric. Okay, so I'll just do this, and I'll just go to the second one, and I'll try to work as close as possible, and if I feel like something is left out, I'll go back and do another satin stitch over there. And don't worry about the edges, because we will be doing a little outlining as well at the end. So don't worry if the outline doesn't come out as round as you would like the cherry to be, and I'll tell you how we'll do that as well. Try to take out your thread as close to the previous stitch as possible. Okay, so can you see I'm just in the next hole from the previous stitch. Okay, so you already have more or less the shape of the cherry. All we want to do now is to have a nice little outline, for which we'll do small stitches, back stitches, like we did with the accent in the banana. The same one, we'll go back here, okay, and simply we'll do a little outline. And the smaller these stitches, the rounder the shape of the cherry will be. Okay, so don't make them long or anything. Try to make them short as possible. See, there. There, we already have the cherry now. Look, it's nice and fluffy. Let's get on with the little stem here and we'll be done. The stem again is very simple. It's the same stitch that we used to do the outline. So it's just small back stitches. Okay, and that's it. That's how you will do the. Always remember to go back into the same stitch. Okay, not here, not anywhere else. Just the same stitch, the same hole. So that's how you will make sure that your line is nice and smooth and without any break. You don't want any break. Okay, so just make sure of that. And I'm going to go a little bit. I've gone just a little bit inside the cherry to give this sort of look. Okay, and you'll do the same here. Just imagine you have another cherry. So always make the fruit first and then the leaves and all the extra things. Okay, you'll do the same here and you'll be done. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching and learning these simple freehand stitches, and make sure that when you do this, you have good lighting and a good comfortable seat to work in when you're doing all this. Okay, thanks for watching, and do share pictures and tag Oni Bayanup when you do that. Thank you.